Hello, this video will show you how to use the FindTime app, which integrates into your Microsoft 365 email account to find common times and schedule meetings with others. This app fits right within your Gordon email on the web version, and it allows you to invite individuals to a meeting by adding individuals to the email to see if they are available. So it will pull their office calendar there. It also allows you to send the email to those individuals so that they can determine which dates work for them or which are best for them. You can even set the FindTime app to auto create a meeting based upon the poll results, what common times were there, as well as how early you want it. So in this case, it might be that 5 times are available. Everyone can meet on those 5 dates, but it's going to schedule the first one available. Your first step is going to be to install the add-on FindTime app within your Gordon email. So you want to log into your Gordon email on the web. So you'll just go to the Gordon website, scroll to the bottom of the page, choose Gordon email, and log in that way. It's going to be important that you're using the web-based version. From there, you just want to create a new message. So this is what a new message will look like. And then down here at the bottom where you have the send, discard, make attachments, those type things, you're going to choose the ellipsis right here. And notice I already have installed the FindTime app. In most cases, you won't have that yet. So you'll choose Get Add-ins. And then you'll be able to search add-ins. So you would just type in FindTime here. You can see that I already have the FindTime one added here. But so you would just search it and then find it, and then you would just choose to add it. And that will add it right here within your extensions. The next step is going to add people into the to area of your email, and those are going to be the ones that you're going to be checking their calendars and sending them the poll to invite. You would then, after adding in the people that you're going to invite to the meeting, you would just include the title of your email as well as, whatever you need to say in your email. So once that is all typed up, you're going to come to the ellipsis icon at the bottom and you're going to choose the FindTime app that you just installed. Then you'll select the duration of the meeting. So if it's going to be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, etc. You can choose to have it to where it's only going to pull work hours. I definitely encourage you to check that so it's not going to pull, people are available at 11 o'clock at night. Well, you're not going to have a meeting at 11 o'clock at night. So it's probably a good idea to select work hours as well as to make sure that it is on the proper Eastern time here. So below that, what it's going to pull is the availability of these individuals that we've invited. And this is pulling from their Outlook calendar. So it is not, so if a person doesn't use their Outlook calendar or they have meetings that they haven't added to their Outlook calendar, then it's going to say they're available when they very well may not be available. Keep in mind though that this is just helping you to schedule or pick common times. When you send this out, the person's still going to pick their times that they're going to be available. So it might be that they have a meeting that isn't on their calendar, so it looks like they're available, but when you send this out to them, they may say, oh, I do have a meeting at that time, and not pick that time as an available time. So it's kind of a twofold there. So what I'm doing here is just looking at the different dates. And so the ones in green are going to be the ones that have the most availability, but I can go through and look at different times and dates. So the darker the color, the more availability, the darker the green, the more availability is there. And then, of course, if it's gray, there is no availability that day. The lighter ones have less availability. So I can go through and pick. I can look at it by availability, or if I want to look at it just in a timeline, I can look at it through time as well. So I can sort it however I want. And then if you scroll over these people, it actually tells you who it is. So 8 o'clock on the 24th, I'm available, Ashley's available, and Jared's available. If I scroll down, I can see times that maybe one person isn't available. So 9:30, I'm not available at that time, but Jared and Ashley are. If I'd rather see this in a list other than these icons, I can select this availability group and it will list it here just so I can see generally who is available and who is not. That works well if you have a lot of people coming to the meeting. If it says, I'm busy at that time and I think to myself, well, what am I doing at that time? I can select this calendar event table and I'm able to see what I have going on at that time. So I'm able to see that I have a meeting during that time and I might be able to decide, yeah, I can use that as a time, or oh no, I have to attend that meeting, so I cannot. So what I can do now is go ahead and pick some dates and times of when everyone is available to put those on my poll. So let's just pick a couple of different days with a couple of different times that I know everyone is going to be available. All right, so I've picked 3 times. So I'm just going to go to next. Next, we'll be able to enter a location for the meeting. So if this is going to be a physical on-campus meeting, I can just type in where we'll be meeting. What's great is if it's going to be an online meeting, however, I can just check Skype meeting, and it will actually create this as a Skype meeting. And when it sends the invite out to the individuals, it will have that Skype link in it, and it will automatically generate that for you. So that's a great extra step that it already does. You can choose to set these different poll settings as well. So notify me when poll updates, schedule when attendee reach the consensus, as well as hold selected times on my calendar. So the first one, notify me about poll updates. Anytime anyone gets this email and responds to the poll of when they're available, it's going to notify you and let you know, hey, Jared responded to the poll. This is what he said. So if you want that information, you can leave it on. If you don't, then turn it off. The next one is something that you may or may not want to do. So, what will happen is, say that I have 3 dates available, and all of my attendees are available on those 3 dates. This program will automatically schedule it for the most recent date of the 3 that were all available. So if it was Thursday, Friday, and Friday, and we were all available on that Thursday, it would go ahead and schedule the meeting for Thursday without me having to do anything. It would automatically send out the email with the calendar invite, put it on my calendar, put it on everybody else's calendar. So that's great. Now, it might be that you don't want that to happen. You want to review those and you want to decide for yourself. So, in that case, you might want to turn that off to where you would still be able to review the results of the poll, but then you can manually pick which dates you want to do, manually send out that link, and all of that good stuff. I'm going to leave it on just so you can see what it looks like. And then what you can choose is to hold selected times on my calendar. So, what it would do in this case is go ahead and put all 3 of these dates on my calendar as a hold. So basically, from there, it would just hold those dates so that when it does pick the date, it will delete the ones off, but it's just going to let me know kind of tentatively there that I may have a meeting going on depending on how my other people respond to those. All right, so I'm done setting this up, so I'll just add this to the email. So it's been added in, and that's kind of what it's going to look like for the attendees who receive it. It's going to say that you're invited to this meeting, how long it's going to be. You have 3 options. They'll select the options. They'll pick which ones they're available to, and then they'll just submit that, and then it will send me an email letting me know. So let's kind of put this to the test really quick. So this is what it looks like when an attendee receives this email. So it's going to give them the information that you typed in, as well as give them this area letting them know that they need to pick a time. So we're going to select options. And then it's going to ask us to choose yes or no, which dates and times are going to work for us. It'll also let us see how other people that have been invited to the meeting have voted as well. Right now, only the organizer has voted, and of course, they're available all those times. So this is an example of how you could vote. So you could say, yes, I'm available at a certain time. You can say that, no, you're not available. So when the creator initially set these times, they were able to look on the Outlook calendar and see that you were available. But it might be that you didn't have that time listed on your calendar and that you knew a meeting was coming up. If there's a particular one that you prefer, you can select the prefer, and that will let the person know that that's one that you prefer over the other ones, even if you are available for other ones. You can propose a new time, just be careful when you do this because you're proposing a time without knowing everybody else's schedule. So you very well could propose a time that others cannot meet. So it's not encouraged that you do that, but that is an option. You can also come over to the side and add a required attendee or an optional attendee. So if you see on this list, oh, someone definitely needs to attend this meeting and they weren't added in, you can add in that attendee with their name and email address. So once you fill this out, you just choose vote. And now that's been submitted to the organizer of this meeting so that they can view how everyone is voting. While we're waiting for others to respond, notice that on my Outlook calendar, it put these as holds on my calendar. So these are the 3 dates and times that I proposed, and it just held them as holds. When one is scheduled, it will automatically delete these off, but it does put them there, which is great because it lets you, not schedule something on top of it pending that's the time you end up picking based upon the availability of your other participants. Because I selected it, I'll get an email every time an attendee has voted. So it tells me that this attendee has voted and it shows me what we look like so far. So it's letting me see that I'm available all 3 times. My Gordon D12 help is available 2 times, not this one. And then Ashley is available. So we're still waiting on Jared to respond. Now, if it comes out that I can't wait for Jared or, I'm going to go ahead and schedule, I can just press schedule and that will send it to all the attendees, put it on their calendar and all of that goodness. But I'm going to wait for Jared to respond because I have it set to where once Jared responds, the one that we're all available at will be the one that it automatically creates the session for. So now that my last person has voted on the poll, I receive an email saying that we've reached a consensus. And so what Find Time actually did is it picked the date that we were all available. That is the closest to now. So it's going to pick the most recent as well as the one that we will all be able to attend. And so it actually already picked that because I chose that as an option. And so what it did on my Outlook calendar is it went ahead and scheduled that meeting. And it also went ahead and took off any of the other ones. So it put in the one that we'll be having, and then it took off any of the other ones that it was just holding in place. And in addition to doing that, it went ahead and sent that to all of my participants that I invited into my meeting. It sent them the calendar invite as well. And when we open that up, you'll see that it also went ahead and sent us that Skype meeting link for us to join when it is the time. Now, if you did not select for it to automatically pick the time for you based upon availability and the voting, then you can manually do it yourself. So you'll be able to review the voting, and then you would be able to see the poll of how everyone voted, and then you would be able to choose schedule out here on the side if you had already not, if you didn't auto schedule the meeting. If you had selected to be able to manually schedule it, then you would just pick the one that most people can go to, and then it would just schedule and go right in. And that is how you use the FindTime app.